All right, diving in today. We've got an interesting one lined up,
Mhm.
all about Koo Hye-sun.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you probably know her from dramas like Boys Over Flowers.
Right.
I mean, she was huge in that.
Right.
But we're going a little deeper with this one.
Yeah.
You know, you sent over some sources on some of the controversies she's been involved in.
Yeah.
And they're not really typical celebrity gossip stuff.
No, not at all.
It gets pretty intense.
Yeah, we're talking about like divorce playing out in the public eye on social media, questions about art and whether she's, getting special treatment,
Yeah.
even some stuff about mental health and how that's viewed in the Korean entertainment industry. It's a lot.
Okay, so let's start with the one that I feel like really blew up online.
Yeah.
Her divorce from An Jae-hyun back in 2019.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I remember following this on social media.
Everyone was
It felt like the whole world was watching.
absolutely
They had met on the set of that drama, Blood.
right.
It seemed like this perfect couple, and then
And then it just kind of imploded.
it just fell apart.
It was really wild because it wasn't just like, oh, a celebrity couple breaking up.
Right.
It was Koo Hye-sun using her Instagram
To
share all these personal details about their relationship.
Yeah, like really personal stuff.
She even posted screenshots of text messages between them.
Yeah, I remember that.
So suddenly in South Korea, everybody's talking about this, like how much is too much to share online, especially when you're a public figure.
Yeah, because it wasn't even just about privacy.
No.
It was the accusations she was making.
Right.
That he was emotionally neglecting her, that he was maybe even unfaithful.
And he denied all of that, of course.
Right, but that just added fuel to the fire.
It really did.
It became this huge discussion about how divorce should be handled.
Yeah, particularly for celebrities.
Yeah, because there's this expectation of saving face, right?
Exactly.
It's like she was throwing out the rule book.
And in South Korea, that's a big deal.
And you have to remember the impact this had on both of their careers.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, An Jae-hyun faced a lot of backlash.
Yeah, his image took a real hit.
And Koo Hye-sun's public image became a lot more complicated.
Right, it definitely made people look at her differently.
Do you think this incident changed how Korean celebrities use social media?
I mean, it's hard to say for sure, but
Yeah.
but it definitely showed them how quickly things can spiral out of control.
Right.
It's like this double-edged sword.
Yeah. On the one hand, you have this platform to connect with your fans.
To control your narrative.
But-
But then there's the risk of intense scrutiny.
Potential backlash.
Yeah, you're putting yourself out there in a very vulnerable way.
Okay, so speaking of backlash,
Oh, boy.
there's the art exhibit controversy in 2020.
Right.
Now, Koo Hye-sun, she's always been interested in art.
Yeah.
She'd had other exhibitions before this one, but this one really seemed to get under people's skin.
Well, and it wasn't even just about the quality of the art itself.
Right, it was more about,
Some people were saying she was using her celebrity to get into the art world.
yeah?
They thought she was getting special treatment.
Right, like she didn't deserve to be there.
Exactly.
I remember seeing some comments online.
Oh, I'm sure.
People were pretty brutal.
Yeah, it became this whole debate about celebrities trying to be artists.
Right, are they held to the same standard?
Right. Or are we just automatically dismissive because they're famous?
Yeah, and where's that line?
It's not as easy as saying, oh, stick to acting.
Right?
It's about power structures.
Yeah, and who gets access and opportunities?
Exactly. And I think Koo Hye-sun's experience really forces us to think about those complexities.
Okay, so this next one, this is interesting because it touches on a really sensitive topic in South Korea,
Okay.
plastic surgery.
Yeah.
So in a 2019 interview, Koo Hye-sun was talking about the pressures of being in the entertainment industry.
Right.
And she kind of hinted that some of her colleagues have gotten work done.
Oh, boy.
And that caused a huge stir
Because even though plastic surgery is incredibly common in South Korea,
right.
it's still kind of taboo to talk about it openly.
Yeah, it felt like she was calling people out.
It was seen as a breach of etiquette,
Yeah.
especially in the Korean entertainment industry where image is everything.
It was like she was saying, oh, not everyone is naturally beautiful here.
And that's a really sensitive topic.
Yeah, and it made people ask, like, how far is too far when it comes to beauty standards?
Yeah, because those standards are incredibly high.
Almost impossible to achieve without some kind of intervention.
And you have to remember, this is all happening in a culture where outward appearances are so important.
Yeah, and social harmony is really valued.
So for her to speak so directly about something that's usually kept quiet,
It was a bold move.
it was a bold move.
Okay, so before we get to her social media presence,
Right.
let's talk about her directorial debut,
Okay.
the film The Madonna, which came out in 2021.
Yeah, this was a big step for her.
Yeah, showcasing her ambitions beyond acting.
It was, but
Well,
some critics question if she was taking it seriously enough,
right.
given her background.
Yeah, it was like, was this just another way to stay in the spotlight?
Exactly.
It's interesting because it brings up that question of legitimacy again.
Yeah, totally.
It's like she couldn't win.
It's that classic double bind.
If she stayed as an actress, she's playing it safe.
Right.
But when she tries something different,
She's accused of not being genuine.
right,
It's like she's constantly battling these preconceived notions
and try to prove herself
in these new arenas.
in this struggle for authenticity, I feel like that really comes to the forefront when you look at her social media presence,
Oh, absolutely.
which has been a source of both praise and controversy.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a wild ride.
It seems like she can't post anything without sparking a reaction.
It's true. Every post is like a lightning rod.
She's either loved or hated.
Yeah, it's really polarizing.
It's almost like she's become this, like, Rorschach test
A Rorschach test. That's a good way to put it.
for how people view celebrities online,
Right.
Some people think she's brave and outspoken.
that she's not afraid to challenge the norm.
And then others see her as attention-seeking.
Or manipulative, even.
Where do you fall on that spectrum?
You know, I think it's part of what makes her so fascinating.
Yeah.
It's that she evokes such strong reactions,
They're always so different.
and they're conflicting.
Yeah, and I think it's because she's so willing to be vulnerable.
Yeah, to be
On
open.
social media, especially.
She's constantly sharing her thoughts and feelings.
Even struggles with mental health.
Yeah, her personal reflection.
And that kind of openness,
It can be jarring.
especially in a culture that values privacy so much.
Yeah, like in South Korea.
It's like she's too relatable in a way.
Too relatable.
It's like watching a friend go through something really tough.
But that friend happens to be a famous actress.
With millions of people watching.
Exactly.
It's like that line between public and private.
It gets blurred.
Yeah, we're used to celebrities presenting this perfect image.
Right, carefully curated. But she just throws that all out the window.
Whether she means to or not.
So let's look at some examples.
Okay.
When she started posting about her mental health,
Oh yeah, after the divorce.
it seemed like she was being really honest.
About how it was affecting her.
But she got a lot of criticism for it,
A lot of people thought she was playing the victim.
or using it as a way to deflect blame,
It was tough to watch
because it shows you how much stigma there still is,
around mental health.
even though things are getting better.
There's still so much shame
And silence.
for her to speak out about it.
As a public figure,
It was a risk.
it was a huge risk,
It really was.
but she did it anyway.
It's like she was damned if she did and damned if she didn't.
Right, because if she didn't say anything,
People would wonder why she was hiding it.
right,
But by speaking out,
she opened herself up to all this judgment.
and accusations.
Yeah, it highlights the challenges that a lot of celebrities face
Especially women.
when they try to talk about their vulnerabilities.
Because there's this expectation,
That they have to be strong,
resilient.
admitting weakness.
It can be career suicide.
So how do you think she navigated all of this?
I mean, it's definitely had a mixed impact.
Yeah.
Some people were turned off by it. They found her too outspoken.
Too dramatic.
But others really connected with her vulnerability.
And they appreciated her honesty.
She became a polarizing figure.
Yeah, a lightning rod.
For these conversations about celebrities,
And mental health
it's almost like she represents this generational shift
in Korea.
where young people are more open about these things.
More honest.
Yeah.
But then there's the other side of that.
The accusations that she's spoiled,
Entitled.
those really started to pick up after the divorce.
And people used her social media posts as evidence.
It's that double standard that female celebrities always face.
Yeah, when a man is assertive, he's a leader.
Right.
But a woman,
She's difficult.
or demanding,
It's not fair, but it's the reality.
it's a double standard that we
Right.
see everywhere.
Not just in entertainment.
Okay, so as we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Okay.
do you think Koo Hye-sun is a victim of circumstance?
Or just someone who likes the controversy.
It's a tough question.
It is.
I mean, she's definitely faced some real challenges.
Yeah, both personally and professionally.
And the system she's working in,
It can be brutal,
especially for women who don't follow the rules.
right?
But she's also made choices,
Choices that have put her in the spotlight.
for better or worse.
It's like she's always pushing boundaries,
testing the limits.
which is going to create friction.
Yeah, she's a compelling figure to study.
Because she's so complex.
She's not a hero or a villain
She's just a human being.
trying to figure things out.
In a very public way.
And that's something we can all relate to.
Yeah, I think so.
Feels like we could talk about her for hours.
I know, right?
There's just so much to unpack.
So many layers to her career.
And all the controversy.
It really makes you think about how we view celebrities these days.
Especially with social media.
It's so easy to get caught up in the drama,
The gossip.
but we forget that there's a real person behind all of that.
Yeah, someone with feelings.
And I think Koo Hye-sun's story,
It reminds us to be a little more empathetic.
even when we don't agree with someone,
Or their choices.
it's about recognizing that everyone's going through something.
You know, one thing that's always struck me about her
Yeah.
is how she's constantly pushing back against expectations.
Oh, totally. Both personally and professionally.
It's like she's determined to do things her own way,
Even if it means ruffling some feathers.
which she does a lot.
She does.
And I think that's what makes her so interesting.
It's that independent spirit.
Some people love it.
They see it as strength,
Authenticity.
but others see it as arrogance.
Defiance.
It's like she's refusing to play by the rules.
And in a way, she's not.
She's creating her own rules,
Which can be exciting
but also frustrating.
because you never know what she's going to do next.
That's the beauty of it.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing you want our listener to take away from all of this?
I think it's this. Koo Hye-sun's story is more than just headlines.
It's more than just gossip.
It's a reminder to look beyond the surface.
And to try to understand the complexities
Of being a celebrity in this day and age.
and to be a little more compassionate.
Yeah, a little more understanding.
Well, this has been amazing.
I've really enjoyed this conversation.
Me too. I feel like we've just scratched the surface.
I know there's so much more we could talk about.
But for now, we'll leave it there.
And let our listener continue exploring Koo Hye-sun's world.
On their own.
Exactly.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
We'll catch you next time.